Hi everybody, my name is Casey Nemeko, and today we're going to be doing an oral presentation on a presentation we like to call Horsin Around. Alright, today we're going to be going over 3 topics in this presentation. We're going to be over horse grooming, horse preparation, and horse riding. So we're going to be breaking those down a little bit and hopefully to educate you a little more on horse riding. So we'll just bring you over here to Apache. Apache is a horse here used at the ranch, and we're going to be using them to help us out here today. Alright guys, so we're going to be moving on to our first topic, grooming. So right here I have a grooming bucket. We have a lot of different brushes here. We'll be talking about each brush and kind of breaking down what they do. We'll be using them on Apache over here. So if you want to get a little closer, we can check out these brushes and then go over each one. Okay, so starting our grooming, we're going to go over 2 brushes. To start out, we got the metal currycomb and the rubber currycomb. So these currycombs are for 3 main spots of the horse, the fatty spots especially. So we're going to be going over the neck, the stomach, and the butt. So when using the metal currycomb, you want to make sure that you go with the horse's hair. Going against it can really cause them to be a little irritated. So go with the fur here, just make sure everything's all nice and pretty. Get all that junk out. So with the rubber currycomb, instead of going with it, we can go in circular motions, get all that old hair out. You can see it popping off. Just like that. Alright, so we're moving on to our next brushes. We have the hard bristle brushes. These brushes are going to be also used on the fatty spots of the horse. Neck, stomach. You can use it on the back a little bit too, and the butt. We don't want to use it on their leg or their face because that's going to be sensitive, and these are a little hotter, so it's going to irritate them a little more if we use it there. So I'm going to brush them down a little bit, just get cleaned off, get all that extra hair out. Okay, so after we do our hard bristle brushes for a while, we want to clean them off and then just kind of rub them together like that, get them nice and clean. And then when you're done, you can just stick them together and just throw them right back in the bucket. So, just like that. Alright, so moving on to the next brush. We got our soft bristle brush. This is going to be used on the more sensitive areas, like the horse's face, the horse's legs, and you can use it on the back a little too to get the extra debris out. So we'll just come over here, over to Apache, and just kind of work his legs a little bit, get all that junk out. Okay, so moving on to our last brush. This is the mane and tail brush. It's going to be used on his forelock, which is the hair right in front of his head here, his mane, just on his neck, and then his tail right by his butt. So, just kind of over here first. So you want to start low and then kind of gradually get higher. Even though this looks like it hurts, it doesn't. They don't have any nerve endings in their body from their hair. So as you brush, it really doesn't affect them at all. They're totally fine with it. So let's move over to the tail. It's really important that when we brush the tail that we don't stand right behind him, because if we're right behind him and he does a little kick, it's going to knock you out. So we always make sure we grab the horse's tail, pull it away from him, and then do it from the side. So when you're brushing his tail, you want to start low, just gradually get higher. We're just working all that extra knots out of there. Okay, so now we're moving on to our next topic, which is horse preparation. We're going to be teaching you what to do prepare your horse before he goes and rides on the trail. So, first thing is we got our saddle pad. The pad's going to go on first, the next saddle. When we take our pad, we want to come up next to him, want to throw it right over his withers, which is the bone right here. We're going to angle it, throw it up there, make sure it's nice and steady. And then next we're going to be going to our saddle. So I'll just grab that right now. Okay. So next we have our saddle. Okay. So we're going to make sure our left hand is holding the front over here by the saddle horn. And our right hand's holding the back. We're going to be facing at this angle. It's kind of like giving a little swoop to help us throw it on top of the pad. So I'm just going to throw it and get that other stirrup over his back there. So ready? 1, 2, 3. Hook. Okay. So we put the saddle on the pad. We want to make sure that there's a little tent right here on his withers. We want to make sure there's a little space. If there isn't a little space, it's going to cause there to be a lot more friction on his withers. And it could cause him to get a little saddle sore. So we just want to make sure it's nice and good right there. So perfect. Okay, so next we're going to be tightening up the cinch, making sure the saddle is on him pretty snug. So we're going to be tightening up his cinch here and then putting his breast collar on. So we're going to take the cinch, we're going to walk into his offside. So we'll just walk around him. Make sure it's nice and straight. We want to there's no tangles. Okay, so it looks good. So we're going to be going back to the other. Okay. So when we're stitching them up, we want to take this little strap here. This is called your latigo. Take this strap, put it down here. We're going to go reach for the cinch, put it under his belly, put the latigo through the D-ring, just like that. It's going to be really loose. So it's loose like that, and that means we want to go around again to make it tighter. So we're going to stick it back through the top D-ring right here. Pull it down through. Make sure it's nice and straight. We're going to pull it up so it's nice and snug. Then we're going to stick this little latch here right in the hole. Make sure it's snug like that. So after we put it there, we're going to lock it. So we're going to put in the latigo keeper, put it down. We're going to check the cinch. We're going to check the cinch to make sure it's nice and snug. So we're going to stick our hand in here, put it in. If we can't move our hand all the way around, that means it's nice and perfect. Okay, so next part of the saddling process, we're going to be putting on the breast collar. The breast collar is right here, so we're just going to be putting it around his neck and then latching it on. So I'm going to put it back around here, pull on the front, make sure it's not twisted. So I'm going to take this strap, put it through the little D-ring here. Put it through this latch. Tighten it up. Great. Okay, so after we got that, we're going to go and clip this into a cinch to make sure it's all nice and locked on here. Alright. Alright, great. So now he's all saddled up, ready to roll. Okay, so next part of the horse preparation process, we're going to be taking a bridle and putting it on, and this is going to be what's used to help you steer the horse. So we're going to take this little strap right here, and we're going to spread our fingers open, pushing the bit away. We're going to take our right hand, putting it around his ear, and then we're going to be pushing the bit into his mouth. A lot of times help is to push the thumb into his mouth to help him open it up. Sometimes it makes it a little easier. So we're going to go ahead and do that now. So I'm just going to bed down, open up the bit, put it over his mouth, put my thumb in here, push down, let him open up, put the strap around the right side of the ear, and then we're going to hook it onto his left. Okay, so I want to make sure it's nice and smooth, there's no twists, so he's nice and comfortable. Okay, so after we're done doing that, we're going to take the reins, which are right here, these little strings right here, throw it around his neck, and now we're good to go. So now we're going to be going on to our next topic, which is horse riding. So we'll be taking you down there and we'll be rolling. our next topic. It's going to be horse riding. I'll teach you the fundamentals of horseback riding. But before we get on our horse, we're going to secure our lead line and saddle. Okay, so now that our lead line is secure, we're going to start teaching you how to get on the horse and then eventually start riding. Alright. Next part, we're going to be getting on our horse. So when we get on our horse, we're going to be holding our reins in our left hand. And while we hold the reins, we're going to be holding the mane up here by his neck just to secure it. Okay. So we're going to be taking our left foot, putting it into our stirrup. Right here, we're going to push down on our stirrup, take our right leg and swing it on over. So we'll just do the whole process right now. Alright, so now we're up on our horse. Okay, so before we start riding, we're going to go over proper seating, proper positioning on your saddle before we start riding. So, first off, we want to sit up straight on our saddle. We want to make sure that our toes are up, heels are down, just nice and relaxed. You don't need to be very stiff in your stirrups. Just keep them toes up, heels down, nice and relaxed. Just like that, okay? Alright, so when you're sitting up here, you want to make sure you're not leaning too far forward or too far back, just nice and upright. Okay, just nice and center. In order to stay balanced on your horse, you want to make sure that your belly button, saddle horn, and the horse's mane are all lined up correctly. Right, you want them nice and straight. If one's going to the one side or the other, that means you might be slipping. So, see here that we're all lined up nice and smooth, so ready to start riding. Now that we're in the round pen, we're going to be going over how to move our horse, or how the horse walk. So when we do that, we want to do three things. We want to make sure our reins are all the way forward in our hand. We don't want this tight at all. We don't want to hold them back. So arm straight, we're going to kiss and kick, and that's going to let him know to move forward. So. Alright, so now that we're walking around, we want to make sure that we're holding the reins with our fence hand. Fence hand is going to be the hand closest to the fence. So this one right here. So if we were going the other way, we'd use our right hand. Okay, so now that we're walking, I'm going to teach you guys how to stop. So to stop your horse, we're going to pull back on the reins to our belly button so it's a little snug. Once he stops, reins forward. Okay, that's going to be his reward for stopping. Alright, so next we're going to be going over turning. So to turn our horse, we're going to take the reins and put it to our right hand. When we want to turn to the right, we use our right hand. So that's why we're going to be switching. So, we'll switch to our right hand. We're going to get our arm all the way straight. And we're going to pull the reins to the right. And we're going to start kicking him. And that's going to let him know that he's turned. So we're going to give him a couple kicks. Alright. Okay, so likewise, if we try to go to the left, switch to our left. Give him a couple kicks, and he's back over here. So you can also do a sharp turn, which is a little different. You just want to take, from going to the right, you want to take your right hand, reach down, and pull real little tight. Give him a couple kicks, and it'll turn a lot sharper. Okay? So now let's take the concepts we just learned about turning a horse, making your horse to go, stopping, and practice on the cones. So here we go. So arm straight, go to the right, a couple kicks. Now that we've had a crash course on horse riding, we're going to be getting off our horse. So when we get off our horse, we want to take our left hand, we're going to hold his mane. Remember, there's no nerve endings, so we're not going to hurt him. Hold him tight here. We're going to hold right side of the saddle. Push down our left foot. All right, then we're gonna take our right foot and swing around the saddle. Just one nice motion. So ready and. So now we're off our horse, real safe and real nice, and we're good to go. All right, so that's our presentation of Horsin Around. We covered 3 main topics. We covered horse grooming, horse preparation, horse riding. So hope you guys learned a little bit, and hopefully you're more intrigued to learn about horses. So, Casey and Echo, and I'm signing out.